Jade Cargill explains her decision to leave AEW and join WWE. Tony Khan comments on Cargill's AEW departure as well as her signing with World Wrestling Entertainment. Tony Khan also opens up on the rumours that he may have purchased New Japan Pro Wrestling. Also, he speaks about the possibility of Warner Bros. Discovery becoming minority owners of All Elite Wrestling. Malachi Black dispels rumours that he is having a serious back injury and that's the reason why he's not working singles matches in AEW. Tony Khan opens up about honouring Antonio Inoki this weekend for the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view. Could AEW move to Fox now that SmackDown's going back to USA Network, and what would that mean for Warner Bros. Discovery? Tony Khan opens up on that, plus he speaks about a possible streaming deal in the future, as well as Rob Van Dam's future with All Elite Wrestling. We've got the ratings for this past week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Brian Pillman Jr. makes his debut, kind of, on NXT last night via Ed Vignette. Trick Williams will be competing for the NXT North American Championship this weekend at No Mercy. Butch wins the Global Heritage Invitational Tournament. An NXT Tag Team title match is set for this weekend as well, plus an update on Serena Deeb's absence from AEW and what it could possibly be due to backstage politics and heat. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Jade Cargill, opening up for the first time since becoming a WWE superstar about her decision to leave AEW and join WWE. While she remained undefeated for nearly 3 years, Jade Cargill was promoted as one of the faces of AEW by both the promotion and Warner Bros. Discovery, so much so that she was a featured athlete at the network's upfronts each of the last 2 years. Despite achieving everything there is to achieve, seemingly, apart from winning the Women's Championship in AEW, Cargill knew that only a move to WWE would allow her to ascend to the next level of superstardom. More importantly, Cargill knew that she'd have to wrestle modern-day greats such as Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair to leave behind a lasting legacy in the business. Speaking in an interview with The Ringer, she had the following to say about her WWE contract signing as well as her departure from AEW. Starting off, she said, quote, "I want to create a legacy. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. I want to wrestle with the best women in the world. I mean, there is no grander stage than this stage. The opportunities are endless with this company. It was a no-brainer. It was very welcoming. I didn't have any second thoughts about it at all. It was just an easy choice. It wasn't easy, but it was easy, laughing as well." Cargill then confirmed that Cody Rhodes, who was instrumental in bringing her to AEW in 2020, played an equally vital role in persuading her to leave Tony Khan's promotion for WWE. Khan believes that Rhodes laid out the blueprint for others looking to jump from AEW to WWE following his return to WWE at WrestleMania 38 in 2022. She said the following, quote, "He's a phenomenal man. I've seen what the business did for him. I've seen him just be the stellar athlete that he is. I didn't see it any different for myself, but yes, he was one of the guys that led me to a great decision." Now, despite joining WWE to a lot of buzz, Jade Cargill is first to admit that she's far from the finished product, especially as an in-ring performer. To that end, Cargill is willing to put in tireless hours at the WWE Performance Center in order to stand out amid a loaded women's roster. She said, quote, "You should always bet on Jade because I'm a star in the making," Cargill stressed. "I'm going to keep my head down and work hard. I'm a worker. That's what I do. At the end of the day, my star power is undeniable. What I do in the ring is undeniable. I want to become a household name. That's what I'm here for." Now, of course, to become a household name, Cargill realizes that she'd have to hold her own against the biggest names in WWE, many of whom already reached the peak she hopes to one day. Cargill has already has a list of superstars she's gunning for right out of the gate. She listed the following as people she'd like to face. She said, quote, "Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair. I want to take them all down. I'm here to take over and make a name for myself. Whoever wants it can get it." Now, besides her desire to wrestle the top names in WWE, one of whom welcomed her after the signing, Jade Cargill also plans to utilize WWE's state-of-the-art training facility to improve as a performer, something she feels she was unable to do in AEW. She said, quote, "Reps, quality coaching staff, the best training facility in the entire world. That's what this system can do for me. I don't need this business. I can go home and be relatively fine. I'm here because I'm hungry. I love what I do, and I want to create a legacy for myself, my daughter, and my family. I don't need the money. This comes from the heart." Now, following the announcement of her signing, Cargill was spotted at the Performance Center, putting in said reps as a performer. Of course, as of right now, it's unknown as to whether or not she's going to be on NXT or heading straight for the main roster. But when asked about if she thought she had hit a ceiling in All Elite Wrestling, Jade Cargill had the following to say, quote, "I wouldn't say it's a ceiling. I would just say that the route I wanted to take was different, and the route I wanted to embark on was different. I didn't see over there where I could fit. The only way I could do it was coming to the WWE Universe. I bet on myself, and I made the best decision coming here." Now, in addition to that, Tony Khan has opened up about Jade Cargill's departure from All Elite Wrestling and her subsequent signing with WWE. AEW President Tony Khan has now commented on Jade Cargill following the announcement she has officially joined WWE. WWE has confirmed that Cargill has signed a multi-year deal with the company. Per an official statement shared to WWE.com, Cargill began training yesterday at the WWE Performance Center. Cargill notably made a name for herself in AEW, making her wrestling debut on Dynamite in March of 2021, before amassing a lengthy undefeated streak and reign as the TBS champion. During yesterday's pre-AEW Wrestle Dream media call, Tony Khan noted that Jade is always welcome in AEW, wishing Cargill the best for the future. He had the following to say, quote, "I have only positive things to say about Jade. She's always welcome here. She's had a great run with us and has a great career in front of her. Wishing her nothing but the best for the future." So what are your thoughts about Jade Cargill's comments about joining WWE? What are your thoughts about Tony Khan's comments about Jade Cargill's AEW departure and hope that she could possibly work with AEW again in the future? Let me know your thoughts about that, as always, in the comment section below. Now, this is a wild story because it was something that kind of took social media by storm over the last few days, and Tony Khan has spoken about the rumors and possibility that he could have maybe acquired or is maybe trying to acquire New Japan Pro Wrestling. With Tony Khan promoting AEW Wrestle Dream as the end of an era, rumors have begun swirling about the possibility of Khan purchasing New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially as the Wrestle Dream event is a tribute to Antonio Inoki, the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling. During the pre-Wrestle Dream media call, Khan noted that the speculation had surprised him. Addressing the rumors, Khan said, quote, "I'm a little surprised at how that speculation picked up and specifically the transactional nature of it. We have such a great partnership right now and we're doing such great things with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I was a little surprised to see that. Overall, I've really enjoyed working with New Japan since nearly 2 years. We've had 2 great Forbidden Door events and we've sent a number of top AEW stars to Japan to wrestle on Wrestle Kingdom and top shows. We've worked together in the US. There are people in AEW who have helped develop New Japan and people from New Japan who have helped develop AEW or Ring of Honor. I want to continue that partnership for a very long time, and right now we have something very good going. I'm a little surprised by the speculation. I don't know where it came from. It's probably a good time to have a lot of speculation on the eve of Wrestle Dream, and I'm glad we got a lot of people talking. Certainly that one video with all the great clips of Mr. Inoki and the top stars of today, I thought it got people talking and it was a positive thing. When asked about the end of an era marketing, Khan refused to provide clarification on this remark, stating, quote, "I definitely have no intention of clarifying those comments. I want people to order the pay-per-view. I think the internet kind of ran away with the speculation based on I don't know what. I'd love for somebody to go back and look for the first person to say that was and track back where that speculation came from. We've come a really long way. We've taken big swings and doing new things this year. In particular, 2023 has been our most adventurous year, and I want to keep doing adventurous things and make fans talk about AEW and hopefully make new fans of AEW too. I think we've debunked some speculation. I'd be happy to debunk speculation. That is what I was implying because I didn't know where that particular rumor got started. Without completely spilling the beans of everything we're working on, I really do think it's going to be the start of a new era, what we're doing in AEW, and I'm very excited about that." So what are your thoughts about Tony Khan's comments? Kind of debunking that rumor, but kind of not really. And what do you think this new era he's suggesting, what do you think that new era is? Let me know your thoughts about that, your predictions about that in the comment section below. Now, speaking of acquisitions and ownership, Tony Khan's provided a bit of clarification on the current ownership of AEW as well. AEW President Tony Khan has provided clarification on his ownership of AEW, noting he'd potentially be interested in what he's calling additional investment. With all of AEW's TV shows airing on networks owned by Warner Bros. Discovery, Khan has previously noted that he's loyal to that company. During the pre-Wrestle Dream media call, Khan was asked whether or not Warner Bros. Discovery owns a minority stake in AEW, and if there have been any discussions about potential changes to company ownership. Khan said, quote, "It's something we've talked about a lot. There has been a lot of conversations about that. It's always been something I've been open to. Between Warner Bros. Discovery and myself, a lot of the financial and structural details of our partnership we've been able to keep between us. But there are things that have always said to be true, that I own 100% of the voting stock of this company and that I have 100% of the decision-making power in the company. I've been open to taking on additional partnerships or things of that nature. We have a really great deal right now with Warner Brothers Discovery, and I would love to have an even longer agreement. As for them and their stake in the business, that is something that would be between us, but I would also be open to that, to Warner Brothers in the future, in a future deal, having a bigger piece or a piece in general, potentially, but I would always want to maintain 100% voting control, as I have now, and want to maintain the majority of stock, which I have right now. We've seen in pro wrestling this year a change of control. I have no interest in a change of control. Would I be interested in taking on additional investment? Yeah, potentially. It would have to be the right numbers, and it would have to make sense for us based on how much of our business has grown this year. As for a change of control or giving up voting stock, no, I have no interest in that. So do you think there's a possibility that maybe in the future we could see someone like Warner Bros. Discovery buy a minority stake in AEW? Do you think that could be part of the next television deal if indeed they get one with WBD? Let me know your thoughts about that as well. Now, Malachi Black has opened up about the rumors as to why he doesn't wrestle many singles matches in AEW. AEW star Malachi Black has a message for fans who are circulating the rumors of him dealing with a back injury, as he elaborates on the rumors and speculations. Of course, Malachi Black is undoubtedly one of the most gifted individuals in professional wrestling at the moment when it comes to both in-ring and character work. He is currently signed to AEW. He leads the House of Black faction, consisting of Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Julia Hart. While Black continues to be an active performer, there have been rumors circulating regarding an alleged back injury sustained by him, which some suggest is why he almost has exclusively worked trios matches for a long time, and why we haven't seen the House of Black on television for quite some time since they dropped the trios championships earlier this year. Here's Malachi Black. He took to his social media to kind of dispel those rumors and explain what's going on with him and why he's not working many singles matches in AEW.
Something that I want to quickly address, and I understand that this is always done from a perspective of caring, so before I say anything, I appreciate the fact that people care and that it comes from a good place. But about a year ago or so, I made a video about rehabbing a back injury that I had. And the video shows the process, and I talk about overcoming that injury, strengthening my back, etc. And after the video was posted, people started running with this idea that, oh, he has a bad back and therefore A, B, or C, which is not the case at all. And for some reason that has found its way back. And again, the narrative is, well, he's not had singles matches, etc. because of he has a bad back, he nearly retired because of it, and none of these things are true. Why I'm not having singles matches, I don't know. I think it's because they wanted us to really run as the House of Black and do six-mans. I was also not in six-mans to hide said non-existing injury. Again, rest assured, I do not have a bad back, and the reason why I am at home right now is, well, due to a minor injury, which is I had a slight calf tear and a hyperextension in my knee, which is almost nursed back and almost ready to go back on the road, etc. So again, I appreciate the concern, but the reality is that I'm fine, and you will see me soon rather than later. But again, I appreciate the concern.
Tony Khan has opened up about honouring Antonio Inoki at Wrestle Dream this weekend. AEW Wrestle Dream will not only see a handful of New Japan Pro Wrestling talent competing, but the show itself will also honour the founder of that company, Antonio Inoki, who died last year at the age of 79. As previously pointed out by AEW CEO Tony Khan, Wrestle Dream airs on October 1st, the one-year anniversary of Inoki's passing. During the Wrestle Dream media call, Khan further explained his motivation to commemorate the legacy of Inoki through an event he believes can become a yearly tradition for AEW. Quote, Seattle seemed like a perfect venue in America to celebrate a wrestling promoter who, yeah, most of the business he did was in Japan, but he conducted business worldwide, and he did a ton of business in America. He's also one of the reasons that Strong Style Pro Wrestling, junior heavyweights, and a lot of the great international pro wrestlers we saw on American television when a lot of us were kids, he's the one who brought them here, Khan said. So I thought it was very fitting to celebrate the event in America as part of the AEW schedule and build something I think can be an annual event and hopefully celebrates him every year, because Inoki really deserves that. Upon hearing of Inoki's death last year, Khan said he made a mental note of the date and began scouring potential venues for a tribute show. Khan eventually landed on the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington, whose location on USA's West Coast services a shorter flight for the wrestlers flying over from Japan. Zack Sabre Jr. and Will Ospreay are among those performers representing New Japan at the event this coming weekend. Now, of course, SmackDown is not going to be on Fox much longer. Next year, it's moving back to USA Network under the NBC Universal umbrella. And could AEW potentially fill that pro wrestling void on the network? Well, with SmackDown officially moving from Fox to USA Network in October 2024, there's been speculation on whether Fox could vie for another wrestling program in the future. Considering that AEW's media rights with Warner Bros. Discovery also expire in 2024, Tony Khan was asked on a media call yesterday if he expects Fox to be a potential suitor for shows such as AEW Dynamite or AEW Collision next year, saying, quote, "I don't think it would be fair to talk about possible bidders or outside speculation," Khan responded. "Right now, we're on Warner Bros. Discovery, and I find that in the entertainment business, there is not a lot of loyalty at times, and there should be. This is a family business. We're not a public company." Khan noted that even if he gets punched in the face with circumstances, he doesn't plan on downsizing the AEW staff or laying off nearly 30 wrestlers the way WWE did recently, as he truly cares about his employees. The AEW boss believes that a lot of corporations don't share his family's core values, but that hasn't deterred him from giving up on his beliefs. Quote, "Not every family business has those principles, but we do, and that's how I was raised. I have to say, I feel there is not enough loyalty in the entertainment business. Yes, it's no secret, and it's a business. We'll be up at the end of 2024, and I would love to stay at Warner Bros. Discovery forever. I think it's great for the fans to have wrestling on TBS and TNT," said Khan. While reiterating his desire to keep AEW programming on WBD, Tony Khan said he expects a lot of potential bidders to vie for AEW's media rights next year, provided AEW and WBD don't agree to a contract extension beforehand. In fact, he implied that AEW would be willing to take a pay cut to remain on WBD, as the company plans to stay loyal to the media conglomerate. Quote, "Mr. Zaslav," WBD CEO David Zaslav, "has been really kind to me and given me great opportunities," Khan said. "If all things being equal, or even a couple of cents difference, I would probably take even a penny or two less to stay at Warner Bros. Discovery. You don't see that in media businesses very much, that kind of loyalty. I really appreciate everything they've done for me and continue to do." So he's kind of saying, look, there's going to be bidders, but we prefer to stay on WBD. Where do you think AEW will land at the end of their media rights negotiations? Speaking on that same media call, he also opened up about a possible streaming deal with Warner Bros. Discovery, with AEW already having a strong TV deal with Warner Bros. Discovery Networks, TBS and TNT for Dynamite, Rampage and Collision respectively. The next logical step for the promotion is to secure a streaming deal, with many wondering if WBD's streaming service Max could be the eventual place where AEW lands. Streaming is, in fact, a goal for AEW owner Tony Khan, who discussed the potential of securing such a deal during yesterday's media call for WrestleDream. He said, quote, "I'm very open to putting AEW events on a streaming platform," Khan said. "I think it would be a great thing. I think we're frankly close enough to the end of our media obligations here and our current deal where that sounds like a new deal to me, and it's the kind of thing that would be a part of a new media rights package, and I think that would be really great for us, so it's something I would really like to do. It's outside the scope of our current contract, which is for live TV events and our pay-per-view events, and we've got something really great happening." So he did suggest that, again, that would be part of a new media rights negotiation contract, if indeed it was with WBD. While Khan is very interested in securing a streaming platform, he strongly indicated that AEW would only entertain a long-term commitment with a streamer and not one that would require a trial run of several months. He said, quote, "I have no interest in doing like a tryout at this point," Khan said. "We've been doing this for 3.5 years. I'm not going to do a 6-month, 9-month tryout on streaming. I don't think that makes any sense for any of us." Now, we also spoke about Rob Van Dam and his future with AEW as well. Of course, RVD's made a couple of appearances now for AEW. In fact, he was in action on last Saturday's episode of AEW Collision, where he teamed with FTW champion Hook in his second AEW match. During the media call for the upcoming WrestleDream pay-per-view, AEW President Tony Khan spoke about RVD, stating that the Hall of Famer was a good partner for Hook. Khan also said he was happy to have RVD working with AEW on a case-by-case basis and offered him the chance to return at any time. He said, quote, "RVD was a great part of it. The Michigan fans were very excited to see him, and he got a great reaction from a live arena, and the show did a great rating, said Khan. I think he's been here on a case-by-case, show-by-show basis. We loved having him. I would certainly be very open to Rob Van Dam returning in the very near future. As we said when I saw him this past weekend, he's doing a great job, and we'd love to have him back. Great to have Rob here anytime when he's available to do it, and anytime it makes sense for everyone. So he's not signed to a contract or anything like that. It's a case-by-case basis, but you never know in pro wrestling. Now, let's switch gears here to Monday Night Raw. We've got the ratings for the episode this past Monday on USA Network. It seems to be every year the first few weeks of September have been tough for Raw, with the return of Monday Night Football taking a decent chunk out of the Red Brand's ratings. And while things will likely continue to be a struggle for Raw until the NFL season starts to wind down, this past Monday's show is a sign that there's still plenty to be optimistic about, though. WrestleNomics reports that this week's episode of Raw drew 1.46 million viewers and a 0.43 in the 18 to 49 demographic. While the 18 to 49 number remained largely flat from last week, the overall viewership saw a big gain from last week's 1.33 million viewers, a total of a 10% increase. It also represents the highest total viewership for Raw since the Monday Night Football season returned 2 weeks ago. Now, one negative about this week's Raw rating is the show continued a recent trend of starting off strong and finishing relatively weak. The show would begin at 1.64 million viewers for Cody Rhodes' opening promo, the high point of the night overall, only to finish with 1.34 million viewers for the bulk of the main event between the Judgment Day, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. The highest quarter hour of the show for the 18 to 49 demographic would come at QH6, which was the 9:15 to 9:30 quarter, with Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio drawing a 0.47, while the low point in the 18 to 49 came at QH11, which is 10:30 to 10:45, which featured a promo and the beginning of the main event. So that's the ratings for Raw this past week. Now, last night on NXT, it featured the first tease of Brian Pillman Jr. coming to WWE, specifically coming to NXT. On last night's episode of NXT, there certainly seemed like there was a tease towards the arrival of a former AEW star in Brian Pillman Jr. via a vignette. If you blinked, you may have missed it, but there's a very reasonable cause to believe that a short vignette shown on last night's NXT is related to an impending debut. Last night's episode of NXT, there was a short vignette shown that appeared to be a vintage television with a mysterious man sitting down to flip through the channels. The first channel being a news desk saying Eyewitness News at 7. It then flips to the Cincinnati Bengals with another voice mid-sentence talking about the Cincinnati Bengals training camp before changing the channel again, landing on a vintage episode of WCW with Jim Ross's classic voice being heard to say, hello again everybody and welcome to WCW Saturday Night before the screen goes to black. The last clue, the man shows to be wearing the same shirt that Brian Pillman Jr. wore on AEW television, so it appears that his debut may be coming up sooner rather than later. Pillman Jr. entered a period of free agency after he and AEW parted ways in July 2023 after his contract expired with the company. So it looks like that's the first tease of Brian Pillman Jr. coming in to WWE after his AEW departure. Now, Trick Williams is going to be getting a shot at the NXT North American Championship this weekend. Trick Williams pulled double duty during Tuesday's episode of NXT, but luckily for him, his efforts paid off. After defeating Joe Gacy earlier on in the show, Williams approached WWE Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative Shawn Michaels, insisting that he elevate the NXT North American Championship #1 contender match to a fatal four-way match with Williams as the fourth entrant. Upon Michael's approval, Williams joined Axiom, Tyler Bate, and Dragon Lee in a battle to become Dominic Mysterio's challenger at NXT No Mercy. In the closing moments of the match, it saw Lee hit Axiom with a Destino. Before Lee could get the 3 count, though, Williams rushed back in the ring to break up the pinfall. In response, Lee headbutted Williams, causing Williams to crash through into Bate, who was standing on the apron behind him. Upon impact, Williams bounced off the ring ropes, landing on top of Axiom in the prime position for a 3 count pinfall. With this victory, Williams officially secured himself a shot at the NXT North American Championship, what will be a first-time matchup against Dominic Mysterio. Of course, that's replacing Mustafa Ali, who was released as part of last week's talent cuts. Now, Butch will be wrestling at No Mercy this weekend as well because he has won the Global Heritage Invitational Tournament. It's going to be Fight Night at No Mercy on Saturday as the Brawling Brutes' Butch will take on Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup during NXT's latest premium live event. Butch defeated Joe Coffey on Tuesday's episode of NXT, with Dar and Metaphor looking on despite interference by Coffey's compatriots in Gallus. Obviously, this now leads to an NXT Heritage Cup match this coming weekend at NXT NXT No Mercy. Do you think we could see yet another main roster star win a title in NXT, or will Noam Dar retain? Let me know your thoughts about that. Speaking of title matches this weekend as well, we've got an NXT tag team title match announced for the show too. The card for NXT No Mercy continues to take shape as the D'Angelo family will be putting the NXT tag team championships on the line against the Creed brothers, the former Los Lotharios, Angel Garcia and Humberto Carrillo, and the newly minted Out the Mud as well. On Tuesday's episode of NXT, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo threw a dinner party for all three teams in an effort to feel out the competition and let everyone plead their case as to why they should be the ones to earn their shot. After hearing everyone out as they feasted on some delicious looking food, the family decided to give them all a shot before toasting to all of them. So we're going to be getting a four-way match this weekend. Finally, a bit of drama backstage in AEW, of course, and this time it's about Serena Deeb. Now, Serena Deeb actually hasn't been seen on screen for AEW for nearly a year, and Fightful Select have learned a couple of claims as to why. Deeb attended the Cauliflower Alley Club recently, marking one of her first public appearances in quite some time. However, Fightful had reported this past summer that Deeb was sidelined and not factored into creative, but also under contract to All Elite Wrestling. At the time, AEW sources had said to Fightful that she wasn't injured. Deeb has told people that she's dealt with a serious injury and is working to get cleared. However, there were sources within AEW who said there was also a serious disagreement with management last year that led to her being off television. Fightful were told that Deeb was very vocal about her use on AEW television and especially the time she was being given. Those familiar with the situation claimed it entered the area of disrespect as she'd accused Tony Khan and AEW management of cutting the time for her matches without telling her until they got to the ring. The claim on the AEW side of things was that they actually got a list of times and showed Deeb that her time wasn't cut based on what was originally budgeted. It's typical for producers and coaches in wrestling companies to not relay times for matches until they're finalized as to prevent wrestlers from being upset when inevitable cuts actually happen because it's live television. Those close to several members of the AEW roster and others in the company has heard, but it led to a situation where she had heat. So it's quite interesting, that one. She says she's recovering from an injury. Others say it's because she's got heat. Some saying it's both. Let me know your thoughts about that as well. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.